to give it to you. It was for me.
I know, because if I keep it, I'm going to mess it up.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, we start.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ms. Usha, and
morning.
welcome to our series of videos on BMS and what happens inside of BMS. And first of all, a big and hearty congratulations to
Thank
you
you.
personally,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Usha, and to the entire BMS community for having reached the milestone of 20 years. It's a really long journey.
Yes.
And I have been fortunate enough to be part of some of it towards the end, and I know it has been nothing less than fantastic. So what significance does this milestone hold for you personally, as well as in the context of the community?
Thank you, Ms. Aarti, and it's indeed a very special moment for all of us, because not only BMS is celebrating 20 years of, from the time the inception of Bunda Mulia International School, which is now Bunda Mulia School, SPK. It is not just that it is being like celebrating 20 years, but it is more special because many of us have been there those 20 years. Like you will see people coming and going, but when you stay and when you are part of that journey, like me, I have been here for 18 years, and I know that many others are also here for more than 15, 13 years. And so you witness, and so you can talk about what really it means to the Yayasan, to the community, and to me personally. I think what it really means to the whole community and our Yayasan is really patting ourselves on the back for surviving, because from the time of the inception of this idea and becoming an international school and then changing into SPK, the challenges and struggles were immense. But having said that, that's the same story I think for all the schools.
Yes.
But then for us it was a bigger challenge, I think, because of so many factors that make or break any business or institution or whatever. And education, especially in this field of education where the competition is so tough, I think every second day we see new schools, SPK, international, national, class, everything coming up. And good thing was, I think we kept focus on what we want to do, and we focused on what our goals are, and we focused on how we want Bunda Mulia School to be known as, rather than looking at what others are doing, and rather than looking at, is it a competition for us to survive? They're doing this, they have this facility, I have to do it. They have brought something new, I have to do it. We never thought about all those things. I remember from the beginning with Miss Helen and so many of us, it was always focused on what do we do next. And that's how Cambridge came in. Initially there was no Cambridge, and then many new rules and regulations came, and definitely it means a lot to all of us, because we not only survived, but we showed, I think, to many of the community of International SPK School that we can survive even though we are very simple, very honest, very humble, and we focus on empathy, care, love, and also had taken the bold step of being inclusive from the beginning.
Yes.
Because of that empathy. And because of every time you look into the eyes of the parents and the child, you know that every child has a right to education. And where will they go? So we tried our best, and I think that is what is so meaningful, because we never thought, are we doing the right thing? Are we branding ourselves properly? Are we going to succeed? Are the numbers going to be good? We didn't think about that as the focus. We thought about, let's keep doing this good work. And eventually we will evolve. Eventually we will succeed. Succeed in our own way, because the definition of success for different people is very different. And I think what really helped us to sustain all the goodness in all these 18 years and 20 years is because the complete support of the Yayasan, a great trust from the community, and an amazing team that stuck to us. Personally, for me, it is amazing journey of 18 years of learning and understanding the dynamics of a leader, what leadership means, and Definitely leaders don't need to be the stereotype, because I'm not. And the fact that we sustained having non-stereotype teachers, leaders, I think it just reinforces that this is the way to go.
Yeah, that's actually brilliant, because what I sort of get from what you said is there has been certain building blocks that has helped BMS in this journey of 20 years. The most important of which are a core set of values, right?
Correct.
Of empathy, care, and trust.
Correct.
Which in the modern in research in education they call it as a relationship-based curriculum.
Yeah.
So these things are very recent, but from what you describe, I can see that BMS has been a testimony to such thing for the past 20 years. But of course, now research and studies show that students learn better when you have positive and nurturing and caring relationships. Teachers grow better when the mutual relationships are good. So is the case for leaders and teachers. So all sorts of relationships are now researched and found to be so critical in the field of education, which I feel is, like you rightly said, which is what you have been doing, because I feel you've constantly followed that set of values and not to look at, okay, if somebody is doing this, let's follow that, right?
And also this came by default.
Exactly.
It was not designed because probably we didn't have that backup of the research and all that. It just came because we wanted to be like that.
Right. So I just wanted to also just quickly ask you about just going a little bit more deeper into this inclusive sort of space we have in BMS. Can you tell us a little bit more about the importance of music, arts and PE? And I hear you have scholarships. So
I think this like how we have evolved and what has really when we talk about evolving, it is not just about evolving a curriculum. The curriculum, I think, is done by the Cambridge, right? And they hand it over to us. We are the people who deliver it. But a school is not just about delivering a curriculum. It's about million other things which never get any attention, I guess.
Right.
Even when parents come for open houses, most of the questions are directed towards the curriculum. But there are some who ask us about how do you build skills? How do you build empathy? How do you make the child caring? And I think in any educational institution, we cannot create a school or an educational institution without space for non-academic things. For me, the top priority is community service, music, art, PE, because everyone, I think all the teachers, the parents, the kids, when you sit down with them and ask them, write down which are the moments that you felt amazing. You felt like, I love the school. I'm having the best time in my life. I don't think anyone said in my maths class or science class or English class. Everyone said during sports days, during musicals. I just met one of my students yesterday who told me that, Miss, can we have more such musicals? Because you know what? It was the most enlightening, like great experience for me, and I would love to have a performing arts ASP.
Right.
Usually kids don't come and talk to you.
Right.
What triggered that? The trigger comes from a musical, from a Beyond Cup, from community services, from anything that brings us all together, and we do it as a team. Individual work is needed. But that is not the be all and end all of everything.
Right.
So I think this BMS really promotes music, art, physical education, sports, whatever it is, and hence there's a lot of scholarship that is given to non-academic as well as excellence in academics. Whether it is swimming, badminton, soccer, basketball, whether it is figure skating, whether it is a child who is playing the harp very well, we have taken everything into account. We don't just say that, oh, we only go with this scholarship. We want to still explore. Are there other ways that we can, bring in more talent? I mean, I would also love to see if there's someone who is shining as environmental, activist. That could be the next step.
So exactly. So this has already been happening organically, right, in
Yes,
BMS.
yes.
So how do you envision the future? Like if these can be integrated into the I remember us having a chat about having internships or
Correct.
bringing sort of putting in the skill based, developing the skills and the dispositions for truly 10 or 15 years down the lane, these children are going to be working in spaces which probably don't exist now. So
right.
how do you think BMS can then integrate this in the future, or what's your vision for?
Okay, right now, having people like you who are also well backed by the theory, it makes, you have to have that strong team. One has to be probably crazily passionate, like someone like me who wants to do everything all the time and just dying to be there for the kids and all that. But you also need a lot of good team members who can then not only have a vision but also understand that we were doing this by default. Now we can design it.
Absolutely.
And we can strengthen it and we can diversify into many other forms of what we want to do in the school. But that really, really requires a very strong team that is completely passionate and has a focus on all these areas, including the academics. So we need to really build that team. I'm sure we have many within us. It is just that tapping the potential, coming together, people who like-minded people and also creative people who can think out of the box and lead us to this big change that we want. Especially like you're saying, the spaces that we have worked in the past 3 years, I never imagined I would be able to cope with COVID. We never thought we would be able to pull off that online, right? So having done that, we know that we can do a lot more. And I think I look at it very positively. It is just a matter of coming together and setting time aside to decide where we are going, how we are going to go, and involve everyone in that.
Right, yeah. And just to add on to that, like we've already started our efforts, I would say, in that direction, especially because what we do in BMS is very much in line with the development of children, right? Like for example, preschool and primary, we focus a lot on play, on nature-based activities, hands-on activities and explorations. As opposed to middle and high, like you rightly said, we want them to develop the skills that will equip them to step into the real world, right? And which is more on decision making and critical thinking, collaboration. So we are like looking at that whole child, holistic child, and it's not about English or math or science in that sense. So yes, we have definitely started. And what would be your message for the aspiring school leaders?
I think my message for all the aspiring school leaders is leadership is not about what you control. Leadership is about how you take your team with you, how much you can delegate, and always keep your eyes and everything focused, one pointed, they say that one pointed attention or focus that you should have on the child. Because yes, there will be million things happening around you in a school as a leader. There will be times when you cry, there will be times when you're angry, upset, when you're frustrated. But then if you put all those energies back into why am I here? And when I just find a child coming up to me and saying something to me, I already have that smile on my face and everything that happened that day is gone. It just vanished. So leaders need to understand that we are here because of the children, and we have to do everything that all our energy should be focused on the child and whatever we do. So our actions have to also show that yes, their energies and all their plans and all their dreams are revolving around these amazing kids that we are working with.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ms. Usha, and I hope this is just a first of a series
the tip of the iceberg.
Yes. We hope to go a little bit more deeper, for example, into ECE spaces, primary, middle and high spaces. So our viewers also can get an idea of how exactly, how is it being done? How is the teaching, the learning, the relationship and the community, how is it being built in BMS?
And like I said, it's amazing to have you on board because again, the value added by people like you are a very good backing of theory. A lifelong learner in the true sense, because you keep completing courses after courses after courses, and that adds value to everything. And also the ability to understand that nothing can affect me. No matter what happens between the adults, the difference of opinion and all those challenges that keep coming our way, also with the whole community as such. But we are here for a certain purpose, and you don't take your eyes off that purpose. And so we need to build that team in order to realize the dreams that we have for BMS.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And hope we can continue more series of videos
thank
on
you.
this. Thank you.
Goodbye.